Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a week of some really bombshell news. And at this point in time, my view is that the GNU should be calling for a vote of no confidence in the president. Because let's be honest, Cyril Ramaphosa probably going to go down in history as the worst president we've ever had. But before we get on to the main video of today, can I say to you, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoy the content that I create, you enjoy the work that I do, subscribe to the channel. You just got to hit the bell icon. Please understand that is different from being a channel member. If you want to support me financially, you can become a channel member, but really all I ask is just hit the bell icon and subscribe to the channel. So ladies and gentlemen, let's actually get onto it. So what's actually gone on? Well, we've seen the near collapse of the GNU, a crippling budget standoff, and now we've had the explosive corruption allegations implicating Cyril Ramaphosa's own police minister in organized crime. So let's actually go through all of the things that have happened and why, to my opinion, Cyril Ramaphosa just needs to go. In any case, let's start off first with the budget blackmail. So for those of you who don't know, there is what's called the appropriations bill, which is currently being argued by the GNU parties. It's a vital piece of legislation that enables the national budget. And this bill hangs in the balance because without it, the government departments will run out of funds, leading to salary shortfalls and non-payment of services, which ultimately will just see a mass showdown across the public sector. And what we mean by showdowns is obviously probably likely to be strikes, departments closing. So to be honest, Tuesday afternoon in South Africa. Now, the DA is refusing to support the budget allocations of the Minister of Higher Education and the Minister for Human Settlements, both of which the DA claims have been involved in unethical and possibly illegal conduct. Both have been requested to have been removed before they'll support the bill. The DA says the reason they want to do that is because they want to clean up cabinet and get rid of the corruption accused. This all following the firing of Andrew Whitfield. So the DA says, if you don't clean up the cabinet, you're not going to support the budget, and that's going to have a real difficult time for you. Now, Parliament's law on this is pretty clear. If any of the 42 individual budget votes fail, that's any, then the entire appropriations bill collapses, which means that obviously you've got a crippled government and potentially a constitutional crisis because you've got no money to do anything. Now, you see, if the DA does this, John Steenhuisen has a really difficult time because if he gets this budget collapse for whatever reason, then the biggest issue that you have is that Cyril Ramaphosa could basically fire him. It risks alienating the ANC within the GNU, which ultimately could just mean that the DA get kicked out. Now, we've seen this whole thing play out and out and out and out, where they keep saying that they're going to fire the DA, but they never fire the DA for logical reasons. Because if you fire the DA, votes of no confidence, Cyril loses, off he goes. Now, the issue remains that yet again, this budget vote threatens to collapse the GNU again. So will it actually happen? Well, I don't think so. But you see, the problem is that Cyril Ramaphosa needs to get rid of these two corruption accused. And now he's obviously got the Minister of Police, another ANC cadre corruption accused. And the problem is that no one in the ANC wants to be seen being fired or being pushed to be fired by the DA because you know what they're all like. They're all schizos. They will shout at each other and call each other sellouts and captured by white people and whatever other rubbish. Now, the ANC is considering replacing the DA with Action SA, but this also comes with a big risk because Herman Mashaba's party was anything but stable. I mean, we've seen the whole fragile coalitions that have occurred in Johannesburg and in Swane, and actually you're more likely to open Cyril Ramaphosa up to votes of no confidence than if you just kept the DA in place. So what's actually going to happen? Well, we don't know. The budget vote is scheduled for the 23rd of July. Time's running out. Cyril's not going to fire these two individuals. And so the question's going to be, yet again, it's going to be a repeat of the last budget vote. It's going to be a question of if you don't support these ministers' budgets, how can you have your budget supported? They might be able to get the votes from the rest of the assembly. They might be able to cobble them up on a case-by-case basis. But ultimately, you can see that it's risking alienating the DA further. And what will the actual outcome of that be? Well, again, we're probably going to see all the headlines of fire the DA and national working committees pushing for this, whatever, whatever. It's just a repeat of the same. So let's actually move on to the next issue, which again is a repeat of the same. And this is the crime syndicates allegation within SAPS. Now, for those of you who obviously are in the know, the KZN police commissioner dropped a bombshell in accusing the police minister of interfering in criminal investigations. Specifically, he linked the minister of police with the crime boss, Cat, who was arrested for attempted murder in May. Now, he claimed that the minister of police had requested that he disband the political killings task team in 2024 in an effort to protect politically connected individuals. So what did this task team actually do? We have all heard about the potential shutting down of this task team, but what was it? Well, it was created in 2018 by Cyril Ramaphosa. The team had to investigate 612 political murder cases. And from this, they managed to recover 156 firearms and they made 436 arrests. Now, the KZN police commissioner says that it was intentionally shut down just as it was about to uncover links between syndicates in Gauteng and the political elites. Maybe, allegedly, someone like Panyaza Lesufi, who knows? In any case, apparently the deputy national commissioner is being accused of obstructing justice, and it was suggested that he himself had taken over 100 dockets in order to protect insiders. Now, this allegation is exactly what we expect to see in South Africa. We expect to see all these political connected elites calling in favors and hiding actual police dockets or case dockets, file evidence, in order to obstruct justice. This wouldn't be the first time, it wouldn't be the last. Now, according to the KZN police commissioner, he actually has phone evidence of payments for these political favors. So he can prove it, he says, because he's got the receipts. So what actually happened? Well, as you will all know, Cyril Ramaphosa was abroad. Whilst he was abroad at the BRICS conference, busy talking smack about the US in typical fashion, he said that he would apply his mind when he got back to South Africa. And so he did a national address yesterday at 7 p.m., which then turned out to be 7:30 p.m., which then turned out to be 7:40 p.m. And in typical fashion, the first thing I've got to say is, why is it Cyril Ramaphosa is never able to attend anything ever on time? It's horrendous. It actually shows a huge lack of respect for the country he's due to govern. In any case, Cyril Ramaphosa has been under pressure because everybody's saying, well, what are you going to do? You're going to protect your police minister? You're going to fire him? Is he going to resign? Like, what's the GNU going to do? And in typical fashion, the actual address went exactly as we could all expect. The first thing is he acknowledged the seriousness of the allegations. He said that crime is a huge issue in South Africa, and then started to go off about gender-based violence and all the other ANC talking points of just complete garbage. And why he does this, I don't know. It's like they've got some talking points, just cram them into any story. And that's exactly what he did. He then announced a probe into SAPS and political interference. He urged unity and institutional integrity. I don't know why he urges these, because he doesn't actually promote them through his own practices. But critically, he didn't actually fire anybody. So what he actually said is he said that he is going to create a public inquiry into whether or not SAPS has been interfered with, and he's going to appoint a judge, a former constitutional judge, or a judge that's about to retire. He's going to appoint him to this task force to investigate. And the first thing you've got to notice, right, is why is it Cyril Ramaphosa's response to everything is set up an inquiry? And there is actually a reason for this, and that is because, ladies and gentlemen, do not forget, they have an elective conference soon, and Cyril's time is ticking by. And so all he's got to do is just postpone inquiries upon inquiries, postpone it. So he said, and he knew this was the question. He said, when's the report going to be due by? He said, okay, so the first interim report's going to be done within 3 months, and then it's going to be 6 months, and then they'll issue the final report. So what is the likelihood that the final report will come out after the municipal elections? I mean, this is probably the plan, right? You just delay things because the ANC knows it's corruption accused number one. And Cyril's, all he's going to do is get to his next elective conference, I don't know, lose the conference, resign, not stand for president, and then withdraw from the Republic. And lo and behold, we've got this bombshell Zondo Commission 2. It's like a second Zondo Commission, because that's exactly what it's going to be, implicating all the ANC guys. And he's just, not up to me. I've left office. It's the next guy's problem. And that's exactly why I say Cyril is freaking useless. He doesn't actually want to be involved in this. And so what he does is he addresses this in a very Cajun way. What he says is, oh, don't worry, I'm investigating it. Yeah. Which on the face of it sounds reasonable. But we've got all these investigations going on everywhere. We've got Zondo 1. We've now got the national dialogue of 700 million to talk about what? Just ANC crap. And then he's got what? Zondo 2. The guy never does anything. He's freaking useless. And so the DA have criticized Ramaphosa for dodging the hard decisions. The address itself was just weak, non-committal. He didn't actually say anything. Julius Malema came out and said he suggested that actually the Minister of Police should just be fired. But what Ramaphosa did is say he was actually going on a bit of a leave. He was going on some leave of absence whilst this was all being investigated. But that's not action. We don't even know. Is the guy on leave on full pay? Is he still a member of cabinet? Does he still have all the cabinet perks? Well, we don't know any of this. We don't know any of it. What we do know is that Cyril Ramaphosa appointed a brand new professor from Wits who's going to apparently now sit on here and be the new acting Minister of Police, I suppose. In any case, this is an outsider who's been appointed to be an insider. It's very strange that you'd appoint an academic to be Minister of Police. So who is this individual? Well, this individual is yet another Islamic individual going into cabinet. And I've got to ask, so what is this with all the ideological capture of the ANC? It seems like the hardline Islamist type movements within the ANC is just capturing everything. South Africa isn't an Islamic country. Like, what is this? We see this time and time again. We got Soliman, the gift of the giver, a Muslim promoter, running the national dialogue. Now we got one in the Minister of Police. Then we're taking out orders from Iran, and then Iran's like our best buddy, and we're only going to listen to their foreign policy. Like, what is going on here in the ANC? Yet again, it's just weird. The guy is just cooked in the head. I think Ramaphosa is just checked out. In any case, I think you have to understand what's really going on here, right? Ramaphosa's making it seem like he's being cautious. He's trying to compromise. He's trying to make sure he's doing the right thing. But he's not. He's actually just like kicking the can down the road. Again, another inquiry, more cost, nobody held accountable. This isn't how you clean up states and institutions. Not how you clean up anything. So anyway, so where are we? Well, we've got real problems at the moment. If the budgets don't pass, the government departments go unfunded. And the public workers may not be paid. The GNU may disintegrate. Ramaphosa himself is going to have to go through potentially votes of no confidence, and none of this ends well. Now, if the corruption probe stalls, then faith in SAPS, the MPA, the presidency is all going to plummet. I mean, it's all plummeting already. This is the problem. Nobody trusts SAPS. Nobody trusts the president. And what we're actually seeing here is a constant slide into a form of governance vacuum. And we know who actually benefits from this. It's criminal syndicates who become emboldened, and they just continue to thrive with impunity because they think to themselves, well, the state is incapable of fighting back. And that's exactly what we've got. We've got a state that is just rumbling. It's crumbling. And it's crumbling because of Cyril's leadership and all of the corruption accused within the ANC. Which is everyone, by the way. Like, you just look at virtually everybody, allegedly, is just accused of some form of corruption within the cabinet. Pretty horrendous at this point. And one has to ask the question, if you vote for the ANC, why? These guys are stealing your future. At this point in time, you are no longer a victim. You are complicit in the crime. You're a co-conspirator because you're voting for this. In any case, that's just my views. Do let me know what you think in the comment section below. Until tomorrow, bye.